Jupiter was worshipped by what group of people? Romans. The belief that there are many gods is known as polytheism. Let's see, what group of people would, their women, when their husbands died, would throw themselves on a fire and burn themselves to death? Hindu. This doesn't go on today as far as I know. What group of people would, their women would practice foot binding to try to make themselves look more attractive? Chinese. There will be some matching questions on the test. Uh, 86, I believe, questions. I believe that's right. All right. Let's see. Oh yeah, hieroglyphics is associated with what group of people? Egyptian. Cuneiform. Cuneiform.
Oh, it's Mesopotamian.
Babylonian, Mesopotamian, Babylonian, cuneiform. Let's see. I've marked Jamalatu and Jean present. All right. The title of the Egyptian king was Pharaoh. The Egyptians believed that you had a soul, which their word for soul is Ka. When you see a falcon-headed god, you think of what? That's probably from what country? Egypt. Falcon head. Now, where was Sumer located? What part of the world? Mesopotamia. Generally, it's associated with the southern part of Mesopotamia, the area of Mesopotamia, the land between the rivers. Yeah, those, thank you. Tigris and Euphrates rivers. Most civilizations were located along the banks of rivers. Yeah, speaking of banks of rivers, why did Rome locate itself 50 miles inland?
Because of tidal waves.
Oh yeah, protect itself from possible tidal waves, as well as pirates, perhaps too. Pirates would not want to find themselves trapped 50 miles up a river. They like to be able to run when things get kind of rough for them. All right. The Aryans came from where and settled where? The Aryans. They settled in, let's go ahead, say again. They came, well, when he got Joshua, they settled in India. But they came from Europe. Indo-European. One reason Europeans are called Caucasians, some people believe they originated in the Caucasian Mountains. All right. What Chinese religion says that you could achieve a long, long life by proper meditation, proper technique? Not Buddhism. The
Brahmanism.
Brahman. China, not Confucianism. Taoism. Taoism.
Is it spelled with a D or
D, you can spell with a D or a T. I've seen it spelled both ways. Taoism. D-A-O-I-S-M. Who is the blind Greek poet who wrote the Iliad and the Odyssey? Homer. All right. Let's see. When you hear the term anti-Semitic, what does it connote? What does it mean? Anti against Jews. Yeah, against Jews. And the reason I bring it up is it's been a problem throughout much of history. All right. Oh yeah, there was a big change in warfare brought about by the 100 Years' War. In one sentence, what was this change? The longbow, that was part of it. The longbow was part of it, but it led to what? And the gunpowder, what's that?
Something fire.
Basically what it led to, the answer I want is armored knights became less dominant on the battlefield. Before this, armored knights dominated, but seldom did an armored knight get killed on the battlefield. Then came the longbow and gunpowder, and armored knights became less and less important on the battlefield. The kings that first could not do without them wound up. I'm jumping ahead of the story, but Don Quixote laughed armored knights out of existence. If any of you are familiar with the European literature, the story of Don Quixote laughed them out of existence. Anybody happen to read the book Don Quixote? Okay, yeah, laughed him out of existence. Who is the great Byzantine emperor who's remembered for his law code, among other things, and reconquering much of the Roman Empire? Justinian. Justinian, the law code. Folks, there's a lot of ground, to be covered, but we're going to hear, if you ever learned it. Now, one person was asking me how to study. Don't try to reread all 13 chapters between now and Wednesday. You can't do it. But now, if you'd have started in August, you could have it read. But you can't start tonight. It can't be done. And I said, if hopefully you've highlighted some of the high points and just go through and skim the high points. Best thing you can do. All right. When Chinese talked about their family, what did they mean by family? Great-great-grandparents and their descendants. On the male line, that is. The male side. Women often, of course, women married outside the family. What we call an extended family. All right, now, folk, this is not in the book, but I did take the liberty to put a question about this or two on the test. In British folklore, King Arthur became king after he pulled a sword from the stone that the sorcerer Merlin had placed there years before. Drew the sword from the stone. Who were the two Roman emperors back to back? They ruled back to back, but they said that every man should remain in the profession of his father. They felt like this would guarantee that there would not be a lack of people in any profession. If they had just left things alone, these problems would have solved themselves. But who said every man must remain what his father was? Two emperors back, but they were Diocletian and Constantine. Which brings me to the next question. Who was the first Roman emperor to convert to Christianity? Who was the first Frankish king to convert to Christianity? Not Charlemagne, no, it was about 300 years before Charlemagne. King who converted to Christianity, King Clovis. Now, I do emphasize this, folks. There are 4 dynasties in the French history. The first, Clovis belonged to what dynasty? Anybody know? Merovingian. After him came the Carolingian. Then came the Capetian. Those are the only three. Actually, after the Capetian came to House of Valois, then came to House of Bourbon, but that's later. But Merovingian, Capetian, Carolingian, and Capetian. All right, there was an important battle where that a Carolingian defeated the Muslims. Who was the king? He was not even king. He was actually prime minister, mayor of the palace. But this man who defeated the Muslims at Tours.
Charles Martel.
Charles Martel, otherwise known as Charles the Hammer.
Where did you?
He defeated the Muslims at the Battle of Tours, and is credited with helping stop the Muslim encroachment into Europe.
Charles Martel.
Charles Martel.
M-A-R-T.
M-A-R, yeah, M-A-R-T-E-L. All right, the mystery religions. They had two big differences between them and Christianity. Anybody recall what were the two big differences between the mystery religions and Christianity?
Secretive, as opposed
No,
to
there's no secret, and also
the different oaths.
what?
The oaths you have to take.
The oaths, yeah, to be that was one of them. Yeah, the answer I want to know. There's no secrecy among Christians, and also Christianity took in everybody: the sick, the poor, the unsuccessful, the mentally lacking, mentally deficient. The mystery religions tend to brag about how they could, each one of them, try to outdo the other in attracting the most successful people. All right. What Greek school of philosophy said, "Let us eat, drink, and make merry, for tomorrow we die"? Yeah. Let us eat, drink, and make merry. Tomorrow our life ends. Epicureanism. Epicureanism. All right, now, folks, this one you've been hearing about it. The chief goddess of the Egyptians, who was later worshipped by a lot of Romans and Greeks, who had a son who died and rose again. Isis. Isis. Yes. Isis. Oh yeah, the scholastics of the Middle Ages. They dealt with a conflict between what and what? Religion and science, or to put it another way, faith and reason. Faith and reason, religion and science.